Hello and welcome my fab fans to Glam's new video. Let's see if I can finally finish this drawing. Well, this coloring page. It's been a while. I've been slowly making my way through each section. I do hope to finish this one. I actually remember when my mom gave me this coloring book for the first time, and me realizing most of my markers that I actually own would bleed through it, so I can't use it. Unless I only use pens, which is fine. But at the time, I was just really disappointed because I wanted to be able to use my markers, but most alcohol markers only work on one side of the paper, and most coloring books are double-sided, which means you have to be sad about not being able to use one of the sides, which kind of sucks, you know? I listen to a lot of different things when filming. But sometimes I want to write a story just from my head. I used to write for fun by myself. I had no friends to play D&D with me. And my favorite part was just making up a story that was cohesive. I'm really good at doing that on the spot. I know not everyone can, but that's actually how I wrote most of those stories, was with just giving people some options and then writing with what worked within those options. I even gave them like an option to make up a decision, be creative a little bit, and I would roll for them because, well, I understand the dice and how they're supposed to work, but not everyone does, and that's okay. Get ready to close. Oh, there's a gap. If there's a gap between the ink and the tip, take the tip out. Oh, that's a broken pen. Well, it's gonna consistently bleed now. And it's because I broke the small little ball out of the tip of the pen. I mean, I can replace it with a different one. As long as it's the same size nib. But there's also an issue with that. It's really annoying that one of my pens broke, but that's okay. It wasn't gonna work beforehand, so at least ink comes out of it now. But it's a little too much now. It went from no ink to too much. Make sure you do not squeeze too hard at the nib if you're gonna remove it. Lesson learned. Oh well, I have a broken pen. But you know what? At least the ink comes out somewhat. I have to let them dry. Anyway, I'm gonna fill in the background. Is this marker juicy? It's not really. I'm gonna use a colored pencil. But I get to at least fill in the background. Just slowly filling it in. Me slowly getting things out of my way. Yeah, I should probably put these back away. Little trick I was taught when it comes to colored pencils to get them to be more smooth rather than streaky is to color in circles. Like, don't go up and down, but instead in circles. And it will blend them better into the paper. Does it take slightly longer? Yeah, but you can also go into bigger circles to fill in space a bit better. It works better if you're applying even pressure with your pencils. I don't know what to do with the center crease, so I'm coloring it in with a marker because I know it will be easier to blend into. To the right, to the right, to the left, to the left. Now keep, now keep, now walk it by yourself, now walk it by yourself. Sure, getting in the background. You can tell the ink smudged on my arm and got everywhere else over here. Making steady progress. Me slowly dulling down the pencil as I draw, having to sharpen multiple times in this meticulous process of slowly filling the background in with one solid color. When you say something smart and then immediately say something stupid after because you keep going instead of shutting up. My friend Storm does this a lot, otherwise known as Capri Sun, because my friend could not pronounce his name right from the beginning. It was meant to be Pirate Captain for so long, and now he's just a Capri Sun because nobody could read his name right. It's like this other person whose name has hero in it, but I keep reading it as nerd instead of anime hero, anime nerd, or something along those lines. It is hilarious every time I do it, but I also wish I didn't read it wrong. I've read names really wrong before, but that's just me not knowing orders clearly. Have you ever shit yourself, or because apparently a bunch of like these grown-ass men have shat themselves, just apparently it's common amongst grown men. I know, like, I know there are people who just accidentally, like, have accidents, sure, but because, like, of medical issues or not being able to, like, get to a bathroom in time easily, or loose bowels. Some people shit themselves because of diarrhea, which is technically another medical issue. But there are just men out there who shit themselves without having any issues. And I am pretty sure I found out why. And it's because they find farts funny. And so when they force farts out, occasionally, it's not a fart. I don't know how you can't tell the difference. Because if you have to force something out, it's usually because it's a solid, not a gas. So I've been watching a lot of like backrooms content, and what I get from it is a lot of people are just making it into their own thing. But like when I started watching like backrooms content, it's because I liked that it was like liminal spaces rather than open fields. I don't like it when it feels like it's outside because it doesn't feel like it's a back room. It feels like it's outside. It doesn't feel like a room anymore. There's nothing wrong with the other versions of it though, where people are just making it really fun from level to level things. That's fun too. It's just not, it doesn't feel like a back room. I'm at the final count part. Final count. So I just worked a really long day. And then, like, some kids decided to trash the lobby. Like, what? Where are they parents? But also, they were like, can I have a free soda? And I'm like, no. Just because you're a kid does not mean people will care about you. Oh, no. I bet your daddy left you. And who's making these entitled ass kids, you know? The only one out of every single one of them that showed up that I think was like decently respectful was the one girl who sat far away from the rest of the group. She sat in the corner away from all of the people she arrived with and just ate her food alone. I hope their parents find out and start disciplining them kids, though. Because they left the lobby in such disorder and mess. I mean, they probably can't even afford KFC. The only one that seemed like they had, like, some form of money and enough were the two kids that actually had credit cards. The rest of them seemed like leeches. The rest of them were kept trying to get, like, free food, free drinks. Luckily, our soda machine is always off at the time that they showed up, so after asking for water cups, they realized they really could only get water from the soda machine. Girl looked embarrassed to be around them, though. I could relate so hard with her just sitting in the corner away from them, being like, y'all are embarrassing. Because they really were. They were disrespectful, loud, rude, messy. Her table was almost entirely clean until they showed up at her table and tried to mooch off of her meal. Like, do you know how disrespectful that was? You shouldn't have done that to her. I really wanted to yell out of all of y'all brats, the only one that seems like a normal kid with both loving parents is the one in the corner. The rest of them acted like they had no loving parents. Like, they clearly are unloved if they're acting so wild and gross. Because, like, good people who love their children end up like them, which is respectful of people, respectful of time, respectful of their environment, very clean. I think the funnier part is I can talk shit about these children on the internet for being disrespectful to fast food workers. Because they really were just rude. Like, do you know how much work a fast food worker has to do just in general? We barely finished on time. And that was because they destroyed the lobby, so we couldn't finish our other part of our work as quickly as we were supposed to. And right after we mopped and cleaned the full lobby. They even moved one of our, like, wet floor signs. That was the first time I ever had to see my manager be like, I'm gonna kick you out if y'all don't shut up and go away. They were genuinely being like the most rude, obnoxious people. Like, I once had people standing on a table and was like, you definitely have a mental disorder. I did tell her off because, well, don't stand on our tables. That's really weird. And I didn't know how to handle that, so I just made fun of her unintentionally. And then we had a really smart discussion about mental disorders and BPD, which was really fun. I was like, oh, I know someone with that disorder. She was a really pretty girl. But my goodness. Just because you have a nice face doesn't mean you can get away with being a weird person. Anyway, I finished the cover. Peace, love, and have a good day, my fab fans. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.